All right, guys, I'm going to do a mashup of my fall major holes 1 through 9 on the qualifier. I like to use a blue marble or a 1-3-4 ball. It seems to give about the right specs to land that ramp if you want to go for the ramp shot. Around 5.5 to 6 top spin and about 5 left spin. And I use, I think I used about 22 rings here. Normally would use like about 20 rings with an epoch 5 and 6. Yeah, I went about 22-ish rings because it's an epoch 7, and I didn't use enough curl. So you see that curl rate down there. Use the upper left portion of the shot circle. That upper left arrow, go off of that, and you need just a little more curl than I put on there. We're having to relearn the curl rates because last year when we did this tournament, it was before they did the full curl update. So yeah, so everything looked a little bit different in terms of like the angles and stuff on the shot circle and how far away you could be from the arrows to get, full curl, because it used to be like 70% curl was all you could get on the phone, and then they changed that. So we are in the process of trying to relearn the correct visual look for the different curl rates on all the different shots. So go more than I did on that one. And this has ended up pretty good, for a pretty easy Nirvana shot, perfect and in for the most part. All right, so there's hole 1. See you at hole 2. So hole 2, I like to use a turkey ball to reduce the wind and set up with 2 right spin, no top. And then we're going to set up at +2 into power with the ball guide going right towards the hole. You have to get the yellow ring fairly close over to the edge of the rough there, but try to leave a little distance there in case you have a great right, just a little gap in case you do have a great right. And then we're going to do max plus 25%, which is 7.5 rings on this wind. Got the perfect. And bingo. See you on hole number 3. All right, so hole number 3, guys, we're going to go to the right and do a bounce over shot. Nothing fancy, no elevation. 6 top and like 4 or 5 right, whatever you can get on there without losing your 6 top spin. You could go even a little bit more than the 6 top if you have it. Just go max on an epoch 5, you should be good. I do get somewhat aggressive up there, you don't have to put the yellow ring all the way up to the end, but with that little bit of headwind, you're really not going to land long on this one. I even go a hair into power there, and I will add just a tiny bit to make it up, but not all, maybe a half a ring. So nothing fancy here. We're just trying to set ourselves up for a guardian shot. We're going to do a guardian full backspin shot coming up. So plus 10% on the guardian shot, and I like to use the slider. I'm a little past mid by the time min by the time I bring it all the way up there. So I'm going to go min plus around 20-ish%, maybe a little over. 23 is what 21 I ended up going. And then get the ball guide towards the very back of the green, and I went 1.5 grids, but I think we're going to have to go 2 grids because both myself and Pete have missed just barely right of the hole, which you're going to see here. So I think it's either 1 3/4 grids to the left of the pin or 2 grids to the left of the pin is what we want. And you can see it comes back nicely, but just a bit outside. So there's that one. We'll see you on hole 4. So hole 4, guys, we're going to use max plus 10%, 1 back, 5 right. And we're going to set up at plus 4 into power with just a tiny little bit of the orange ring cutting into that right rough. I mean, a very little bit. You can see about the amount there. It's not much. And then max plus 10 is 4.4 on the Goliath. Here you can use a Goliath 7 or 8 without worrying about the ball guide, so it won't matter. Perfect shot. And barely in, but it's good. We'll see you on the next one. All right, guys, so hole 5, we're going to do a big old power slice here. So we're basically, ideally we would have a hair more wind than that. 10 is okay, 11's better. We're going to do 2 back, no, 1 back, 2 right. I like the spin rates, but watch my curl. I do go 25 rings here. Normally you'd go 23 rings with an epoch 5 or 6, so I have to go a couple extra. So you notice that tree, you're probably going to be right of that tree with an epoch 5 or 6. Look at this curl rate. I need to get closer to the upper right corner of the shot circle. That was a little too much curl right there. So we want to bring that in. And I have more curl on an epoch 7 as well by a little bit. Not much, but some. So reduce the curl slightly, and we're going to be on the green there. So hopefully we don't have to do this in the coming rounds, but if we do, at least we're not in a terrible situation. Perfect and in. And there we go, on to hole 6. All right, guys, so the drive on hole 6, we do a max plus 20. I like to use a power 4 ball, royal or a dead or an open. You don't have to, but it just makes it a little easier. You don't have to full OP like you would with a Kingmaker. This kind of is an epoch 5 plus hole for the most part. It maybe can be done with others, but I'm just going to adjust for the wind at max plus 20 and then push back up to max as well. And I might think about adding either a little bit more OP or maybe even 1 or maybe a half a bar of topspin from what I used here. Because I do end up just a little shorter than I want to be here. I think 436 gives you mid, but that's quite a bit further up there still. So I ended up at 420, and it's close to min, which isn't terrible either, honestly. All right, so we're going to do from about min club. We're going to do a 3 top spin, no side, and minus 15%. So use the slider if need be, but I'm calling this close enough to minimum that I'm going to go for it as is. So 6.4 rings. And a great ball. Not going to do us any favors, so we'll miss left. And we do miss left. It's all right, can't get them all. We'll see you on 7. So here we are, guys, hole 7. We're going to set this up in a very particular way using no spin of any kind. No top, no side, no nothing. We're going to set that blue ring so it's cutting just a little bit into that front shadow. The back of the blue ring is just touching that little extension of shadow that from the second little nub that comes out there. So we're looking at 2 spots on those shadows. Then we're going to go minimum plus 10%. And it's tricky to get this through these trees, but do your best you can. We need 7.2. It really helps if you have a crosshair, but it can be done without it. Got the perfect. Now if you watch the ball guide, if you pan around and look at the ball guide as you're setting up, it'll be behind the hole. There we go. That the wind coming at a bit of a headwind will knock it down and it'll come into the hole even if the ball guide's a little past, so that's a good thing. All right, guys, hole 8. The POC 5 Plus here, the only difference being I'm going to go 2 extra rings. I'm going to go 17 rings instead of 15 rings. So 4 back, max left, and then hold out into power and back calculate your rings from max. So that's 6.1. So with the wind blowing to the left, your 6.1 is going to put you over there towards the left of the fairway. Then go 15, in my case 17 rings. And you can see the curl rate there, which might have been a hair too much. We're going to do a full hook, full power, reduced curl. But it was pretty good. I mean, that's really about perfect. You can't get a whole lot better than that without going in. So that's how we do that one. I went on to make the putt. All right, guys, so once again, a POC 5 Plus. We're going to center the yellow ring right at max club. We're going to go full left, 3 back, although with that 9 wind, look at the wind. If you get that 9 wind, I went 3.1, go 3.5 if you have a 9 plus wind. And then we're going to adjust at max plus 10. Because I cut it a little, see, and then 2/3 ball left curl. Don't add power. And you might be able to just do even just a half a ball of curl here. This came in further left than I really needed, so maybe a half a ball of curl. Next we're going to be a sniper. All right, so the sniper is -5, guys, and I kind of screwed this one up. So this is my worst shot on the entire 9, but we're going to go 4 top, and with that wind, maybe 3.5 top, and then 1.5 left. And I needed to be set up further left. I needed to move over there, but I just couldn't quite get myself to do it. Maybe even use 2 left. But the idea is to have the ball guide actually going through the pin, because we're going to roll past the pin intentionally and then roll back down the hill, and there's kind of a funnel there. So make my 8.8 adjustment, then we're going to push forward a half a ring so that it kicks it to the right of the hole because we were lined up with it. And then the idea is, if you do this correctly, which I didn't, is it'll roll up there. See, I got really close there. It should have been way further left, so I screwed it up big time. But it would roll fairly close to past the hole, then back down towards the hole. But we still didn't end up too bad, and ended up making the putt for another eagle. So that's a minus 18. Eagled all of the holes, all 9 holes for a -18.